And good evening or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to episode 15 of the Oh You Didn't Know Wrestling Show. I am the 15th most brown eyed girl in all of Pennsylvania, John Fisher, alongside with me, the 15th shortest man in Nigeria, Brad Shepard. World traveler, you are.
Yeah, I'm traveling all right, and I'm traveling to watch Monday Night Raw because somebody's got to show up to these events, and they're not showing up to see the man. So I want to talk about that.
They're not showing up to see anyone, for that matter. Um, but you can follow us at Oh You Didn't Know Wrestling Show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and we don't have a station Twitter because we're better than that. John Fisher TV on Twitter, and the Brad Shepard on Twitter for him. I'm in a bit of a solemn state. Lots going on, and all I wanted to do was tune in and watch some pro wrestling. So I did. I watched Monday Night Raw. I got to watch a little bit of SmackDown. A busy life I live.
Were you thoroughly sports entertained?
You know how I am, right? I don't like to be negative. You like to be negative. I don't like to be negative.
Well, it's not that I want to be negative. When I see Becky Limp wearing a knee brace, I'm thinking, is she wearing it so she knows which knee to sell? That's not negative, is it?
I think she figured it out. It took her a little bit. No, I don't like to hate because, hatred is so prevalent in the world nowadays, and so if there's anywhere to go and not spew pessimism anywhere, I'm the guy to do that. But Raw was what it was. It was Finn Balor actually had a really good line 3 weeks ago, and he said, "Same old." And this is prior, I think, to a match with Bobby or talking up Corbin, whatever it was, or Triple H or Vince McMahon, right before the match with Lesnar, and he's like, "Same old Monday Night Raw." Well, yeah, it kind of was. It kind of was. Outside of a few bright spots that I'm one I know you enjoyed. It didn't. I don't know, man. It was just raw. Sad to say. I don't like it when it's just raw. I like it when it's different.
Yeah, it was raw. All right, that's a good way to describe it. Raw. I mean, it was a bad opening segment. It was bad from the beginning. You have Triple H, Stephanie, and Becky Lynch. So Triple H and Stephanie, very reasonably, I might add, ask for Becky to apologize for assaulting them. And then the dollar store Stone Cold herself, Becky Lynch, puts on another exaggerated, over-the-top performance, which lacked any real believability. And then the entire show was booked around whether or not lukewarm Becky Lynch was going to apologize. That's what we were supposed to be waiting 3 hours for. And you wonder why this show's not very good.
At least they had a story from beginning, middle, and an end. I'm willing to give them that. It's very rare now.
But that's like saying, okay, a 10-year-old used the toilet instead of doing a duty in their pants. That's what they're supposed to do.
But they don't. That's the problem. But now they are. And yet people complain. So what do they want?
How about good storytelling where they do have a thread throughout, a story throughout? That's fine, but it's got to be good. This wasn't good. I mean, people didn't stick around for it. Second straight week, Becky's advertised. Second straight week, the Raw rating goes down. The third hour, which was the payoff, lost 16% of its original audience. Of course, despite the big hook to see if the man would apologize to Triple H and Stephanie. So I don't know. It didn't seem very good to a lot of people.
I really like the ending. It is now officially the second worst reviewed, or however you want to put it, the worst liked, for lack of a better word, because that's what it is. The worst liked YouTube video of all time. for World Wrestling Entertainment's YouTube channel. Which, by the way, I know a few weeks ago we were talking about how well they were doing. It is as far as the Alexa Bliss and the Mandy Rose segments compared to everything else, is now the second least or second most disliked video ever.
Yeah, I mean, this just tells me, John, that it's still as easy as ever to work the marks, the fans.
Of course it is.
It's just in different ways than yesteryear.
But that's not a bad thing. At least you get a reaction.
You get a reaction, but they get mad, and I'm not really mad. It's go away heat. It's this. It's we didn't want to see this. But really what it is it's grown men, in most cases men, being worked by the WWE and getting mad online.
Well, you don't really think, I mean, not you. Are there people that really think they think this is a realistic storyline where they took her out of the main event and put Charlotte in for no reason at all?
I would say so. Yeah, I would definitely say so.
I mean, but that's just calling out a spade a spade. It's stupidity. It's quite obvious. I mean, you know, I don't like to spoil things for myself. I love to be naturally surprised. But then again, it's so easy to spot where they're going with this. It's going to go one of two ways. Becky's going to get back into the match like it should be the week before. Should be, but it's not. It'll probably be like a month before, or I guess I shouldn't sell them too short. It might be even that night for all that we know. It's going to be a triple threat or the one-on-one again. Or on like the SmackDown, the true go home to Mania, they could have her face Charlotte and the winner takes on Ronda. They could do something like that. But at least now they have options, you know?
Well, the story's a lot more intriguing with Charlotte in it. I've said this before. She needed to be put into the match. And you know what?
She doesn't need to be. No, she doesn't need to be in the match. Intriguing. She does not need to be there.
Yes, she does. And
no,
I'll tell
doesn't.
You, if Charlotte's not in the match, then the only option for her should be a rematch against Asuka, who, by the way, is still missing.
Was she on SmackDown?
No.
And you watched from 8 to 10. No Asuka whatsoever, right? Really?
I didn't see Asuka.
What? Keep your opinions out of this. Where is she, why isn't she on the show? Whether you think she sucks or not.
Well, I mean maybe that's why she's not on the show.
She should be. I mean, Triple H is clearly in love with her. That's a fact. I mean, for all the times that he's, spoken upon her and how great she is, and I'm a fan. But to have the women's champ not on the show for the what? Third week in a row? Is she hurt? Maybe she's hurt.
Watching her is hurting me. I'm glad she's off the show. I just don't think it makes sense. I mean, yeah, maybe we're not ready for Asuka. I don't know, but I'm just glad that in the new era where fans are in charge, like you and I, John, that we've all decided to go back to the well of protagonist versus McMahon family authority figure in the main event picture.
It's different.
Yeah, it's something different. It's I'm kind of liking this. We'll see where it goes, though. I'm not quite sure.
So, have we ever seen a McMahon in charge before? I don't think we have. We have. So, can I say two things that I liked about wrestling this week?
Yes, you can.
All right. The Revival winning a very good tag match on Raw.
I thought it
was a highlight of the show.
Yeah, maybe. I was very pleased with the Revival winning the tag team championship.
And much to our surprise, Gable and Rude have pretty damn good chemistry.
Yeah, Gable's a good little worker.
He is. He absolutely is, and he might be the best amateur wrestler on the roster right now, which goes a long way. That gimmick has always been something viable on the main roster, whether it's Kurt or Swagger, because there was a time where Swagger was over as fuck as a monster heel when he was supposed to, did he take on Edge for the strap? Oh God.
Oh my God. For the strap.
Yeah, it's not a strap, it's a championship. No, it's a belt that keeps your hands up for the life of me. Did he when? Okay, I gotta look this up. This is gonna bother
Okay.
me.
Well, yeah, you
No, I'm gonna do it.
yeah, you do that. By the way, Apple Guy 32 on Twitter, while you're looking that up, he says that I'm just jealous of Becky Lynch because she has a bigger dick than me, and I'm
Man,
I'm gonna have to refute that because that thing is the original The Man.
it was WrestleMania 20. It was right after WrestleMania 26. Not the point.
Yeah. Well, if he could have stayed awake in meetings and not got arrested.
Hey, he dominated in his first MMA match.
Yeah, that guy was a tomato can and a half. But congratulations to Jake Hager on his big MMA debut. I thought the entrance was cool, and I thought he'd win. I mean, he's legit. He's a big guy, kind of deceptively big, actually, and great amateur wrestler. So, yeah, good luck to him, and kudos to him.
He just that lisp, man. No disrespect, but it's hard to listen to. It was very hard to listen to. But no, okay. So yeah, Revival was awesome. Revival was very, very good. I loved it. But the tag match was excellent. I even, you know what? Here's a tip. Watch some of it on mute. It makes the matches better. Why? You might ask. You're not listening to Pacentis drivel for 30 seconds to 25 minutes, and it's peaceful. It's just peaceful. I mean, the crowd's dead anyway, pretty much all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. No reaction for Becky Lynch whatsoever. I mean, she got in the ring.
Well, no, she got a pop.
When she got in the ring, it was like Dead City. Oh, it was. Brutal.
Shut up.
It was.
No, you're brutal. Absolutely. No, their chants were nonstop throughout the segment. Do you not listen to the damn
reaction.
Show? You're fucking deaf. All right, but no. No, you had a really good tag. Revival cut a really nice promo on Gorilla. They probably went and threw the title at Vince and hit him in the face like Brock did. And then another. I would like to know what you actually did on this. Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, I thought was a fun 10-minute match. It was very entertaining to me.
Yeah, but what are they doing with Nikki Cross, though?
I don't know. I mean, she had a good loss, and that I believe that is a real thing in pro wrestling. You don't have to win to get over. It obviously helps a lot because really wins don't matter. Ask EC3 and Dean Ambrose. But that match I thought was very good. It put Nikki in a good spotlight. And to answer your question, I have no idea.
Yeah, they're already screwing that one up. So. Yeah, no, to me, Raw is really centering around a couple of things right now, and it's the Brock Lesnar Seth Rollins feud, and then it's the Becky Lynch Ronda Rousey / Charlotte feud, and it's really brought the show down in a lot of ways. We see it in the ratings, we see it. It's very boring, and you've got Brock not on the show a lot, so you got Paul Heyman coming out, and look. Paul Heyman is cutting the same promo he's cut forever, and it just kind of gets boring after a while. He comes out and blah, 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 my client Brock Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. It's not a prediction, it's a spoiler, blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's like the same cut and paste promo we've heard for years.
I don't mind it, though. I love Paul.
I do. It's boring. It's boring. It's boring. It's boring. And then it's even more boring because you've got Seth Rollins, who's cutting a monotone, boring, uninspiring promo about his match with Brock. I mean, he might as well have been talking about paint drying.
That leads me into my next point. The Dean Ambrose phenomena, if you will, has been making its way through the airwaves. Now, our good friends at Ringside News wrote an article the other night talking about Dean and his original plan. So he came out after Seth was done with Paul. Paul goes to the back. Dean comes out and grabs the mic and says, "Slay the Beast," and he walks off. but our buddies at ringside are saying that we were supposed to go on this big diatribe about the Shield and Roman and Seth all being brothers and screwing each other over. So what the hell happened?
Plans change, pal.
Do we know what happened? Yeah, but what was the point of that?
Well,
Why?
There isn't a point to a lot of this stuff. I mean, he's on his way out, and we'll talk about the Dean situation in a little bit here during our breaking news segment. But they're just doing whatever with him right now. So there's really no point to it. I mean, it's a distraction for what is supposed to be one of the two biggest matches going into WrestleMania. And I'll tell you, Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar has just about zero momentum to me. Nothing about this is exciting to me. Seth Rollins doesn't seem excited for it. I don't know. This doesn't scream WrestleMania main event to me. And at this point, I mean, Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey doesn't either. I mean, Becky Lynch is off the rails.
So, but here's something that doesn't make sense, and we're going to get to Dean here in just a second because he is defending the Becky Lynch storyline for us, and there's parts that what? Well, yeah, I mean, there's parts that I like about it.
Of course, he's going to defend her.
I mean, are you going to defend the finger poke of doom with Hulk Hogan? You're Hulk Hogan, Mark.
I didn't say I defended that. I was totally fine with it.
I bet you did.
I was totally fine with it.
But that's one thing that killed that entire company.
Absolutely
let's
not.
We'll see. Actually, we already saw.
We already saw.
Yeah, and it did. So there's things that
you don't know.
No, I do know. I was around for it.
Yeah.
The thing, there are a few things that I like about it. What? No, I was in. No, I was the 5th or 6th grade when it finally died. Wait, I was Hold on. It officially. When was the finger poke due? 99 or 2000?
I don't know.
Can you remember?
I don't remember those type of unimportant details offhand.
Unimportant. You're fucking out of your mind. I was 5. I was turning 6, and I was there in Atlanta watching Hulk Hogan destroy the company single-handedly because he did.
Yeah,
he was a plant.
Had
from
nothing
Vince.
to do with AOL Time Warner. Nope, it was Hulk Hogan's little finger poke in a fake match.
It got it had the boys upset. You can't upset the boys.
Can't upset the boys. God damn. They want to pretend
there's a few things
are real, huh?
Yeah. I'm 50-50 on the Becky storyline. You know I love her. She's my favorite. Yeah. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm very 50-50. I don't know whether to like it or to hate it. I just don't know. But the one thing that is very illogical to me, sort of, is now Ronda and Becky are on the same side because Charlotte's in the match, and Vince went out there and said, "This is your new champion." I mean, so let's play a little game we call reality-based storytelling. Okay, why is Vince proclaiming her the champion? Why is Vince a heel? Why does he hate Ronda now? Ronda didn't do anything.
Those are all questions that most normal people would ask on a regular primetime TV show. And in many cases, they would have answers. However, pal, you're getting Charlotte because she's the new corporate choice for champion. It doesn't have to make sense.
It doesn't have to. Well, then why can't just Vince proclaim her champion right now and strip Ronda the title? Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously it was illogical to your point. And to your point, John, I think it's really important that people understand when I criticize the Becky Lynch character and the storytelling.
You're saying this again.
It's not personal. It's based on what I've talked about all along. Something that started out as organically as a white meat baby face in that upper mid-card range, they really could have run with, not to this level, in my opinion, but when you do something like they have done and totally destroyed this, to where someone who is a day one Becky Lynch supporter, as you have been, there's no question about it. I can vouch for that.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
been.
you. But when you're 50-50 on it and you're the diehard Becky Lynch fan, that to me is a red flag that they're doing something wrong.
Well, even when the Hulkster was in his prime and there were storylines that didn't make sense, did you still support it, or were you still 50, or were you against the grain, or kind of in the middle? Did it just have to depend on what they were doing, or were you? Because I mean, again, like, I'm supporting her all the way. She's my number one. However, I don't. I'm not going to sit here and say I can do it better, but I think that they could have done a lot more with it.
But the problem, John, is she's Becky Lynch. She's not a dollar store Stone Cold, which is what they're trying to make her out to be.
Yeah.
Let her be Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is the girl who comes up short just one too many times, and she finally catches her big break, catches momentum, and she's beloved by fans. She's not this Stone Cold badass that they are really forcefully, badly trying to make her out to be. Just let her be who. I mean, she's very uncomfortable in this role. It's clear it's not working. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're thinking. They're trying to do something that's been a flop. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is here.
So here, let's go to Dean. Medically cleared. He apologized to me for coming to my desk and being a jerkwad. So, after our meeting in my office.
Now wait a minute, because
yes,
Dean sent me a message.
Was it direct?
It was a tweet that everybody could have seen.
Oh,
I think. But it said that he had a desk, but you didn't.
I have a desk.
He does.
And my desk is way big. No, he does.
He does have a desk.
He does have a desk. My desk is way bigger than his.
And that's an absolute fact.
So my desk is a big circle, and the weird part is you actually fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 desks in my big circular desk. So it's a circumference base and Dean has a cubicle, so you can do the math.
Ah, okay. So what you're telling me is that the managers at the news station have cubicles.
No, so the managers have cubicles as well as office. So news director, big office, managing editor, good size office, and then the 4 or 5 EPs, executive producers, they share a big office.
Now, when you've got an issue, a confidential HR issue, you've got to talk to your manager. You've got to talk to Dean in private. He's got a cube. How do you do that?
I take him into the executive producer office.
Okay. So the executive producer allows Dean to talk to his employees in his office for personnel issues.
Well, I'm not his employee, though. That's the difference. He's not my boss.
Who's not your boss?
Dean's not my boss.
I thought you just said he was your boss. He takes you in the executive producer's office.
No, I take him into the office.
So you're his boss.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Everything I thought I knew has turned upside down today.
Every time I see him on Wednesdays, he always just looks at me, and then I have to take him into my office. But anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. He's going to come back with, no, you don't have a desk, you don't have a nameplate. Dean's old, and he's hard of seeing and hearing, so I like to take it easy on it. For the kids. Lio Rush and Finn Balor, I mean, they need every bit of happiness that they can get.
That's true.
Because they're so short.
They are very short. I mean, Lio Rush. Leo, please take down that article about me. Rush, wink, wink. I'll tell you about that later. He's very short. Yeah, he's very short. That's true.
Hey, did you like Finn Balor pinning Bobby Lashley? How about that?
Oh, I
How
hated it.
about that?
I hated
I
it.
loved it. Every second of it.
Yeah, I hated it. Absolutely fucking hated it.
Oh, it was so great. The rumor that I heard was that, and you can find some respect in this, that Finn Balor, the original plan was for Baron to take the pin, but Finn Balor said, "I respect this man too much.
Hey, that could be.
I don't want to take that spotlight from him." How about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great rumor because,
Yeah,
you know, I
and
mean,
then
there's I've just gained this new respect for Finn.
yeah,
He realizes, you know what? I am inferior in pretty much every way to Baron Corbin, and so I'm not going to be the one to pin him because that would just be absurd. And I realize it's absurd. Now he realizes it's absurd.
yeah,
So kudos to Finn.
and then Baron gave him a little knuckle sandwich, put him up on his shoulders, and got Finn a lollipop.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, and then he went on and he played one of the lollipop kids in the new Wizard of Oz remake.
And Baron's the mean wizard. Yeah,
Yeah.
With no curtain because he's just that tall. Yeah,
That's right.
All right. Anyway, back to Dean, who's going to defend the Becky storyline for us.
There are those who do not enjoy this particular storyline among Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte. But don't look up because there'll be an elbow dropping on you. Guys, this isn't about the three of us. This is about the fans of WWE, this mythical WWE universe. What are some of the best parts of an engaging storyline? Believability. Getting so many people to actually mark out to think that Charlotte has just replaced Becky in the main event. For Ronda to go on and lash out at Vince McMahon on Twitter about how her and Charlotte weren't the main event Survivor Series, so why would they be the main event at WrestleMania, and he's tearing apart the women's evolution. Realism. The part where Becky actually swallows her pride, where the McMahons are kind of screwing her over, and then Vince gives the big screw over. The believability that Charlotte is just getting something else handed to her. Guys, it's all a story, but it's believable. Did you just want them to replay the Daniel Bryan B+ player angle for this? They're giving us something different, and they're giving us something that the fans are invested in to build up obstacle after obstacle after obstacle for Becky to win at WrestleMania, to make that win main event and satisfying. And that's what they should be doing. They're doing it right. Something that's being done wrong, however, is John Fisher claiming he has a desk. It is the assignment desk. It is not John Fisher's desk. It is the place where I go to have someone do the assignments that I demand, which kind of makes me your boss. And it's not your desk. You have your nameplate. There's nothing there that indicates it's your desk. Other people sit there. I have a desk where I sit, where I have a nameplate, where I also have a championship that I won. So, John, give it up, man. See you in my office on Wednesday.
Oh man,
so screwed. He's so gonna write you up.
No, our company's getting sold to a private equity firm. There's no one getting in trouble for anything. I'll talk to you about that later. So when Dean recorded that, it was about actually, I can even tell you when he sent it to me. It was on today's Tuesday night. He said that to me at 6:17 p.m. See, what happens is when Dean, on his days off, he gets up around 4 in the morning, goes and looks at the birds until about like 7 or 8, and then he makes a whole plate of scrambled eggs just for himself. He won't share. No one knows why. That's selfish being in his blood from watching too much wrestling when he was a kid. So then, after he's done eating breakfast, he then goes and meets the old guys, as he calls them, the OGs, for a lunch at the TGI Fridays. But since they get there early enough, it's the early bird special for the 85 and older crowd. Yes, Dean looks great for his age. So then, when he comes back, he likes to record his segment for us, and what he's supposed. And I've told him this. It's in his contract, which is ironclad, by the way. He's iron deficient. Ironically speaking, there I go again. And he forgot to take his iron pill, and I guess that's when he went on. See, I think he took it right before he did his elbow drop, because in the first 65% of it, he made perfect sense, but then he started to drift away like an unprotected finisher, and all of a sudden, Dean fell asleep at 7 o'clock. So I'll find out tomorrow what the hell he was talking about.
Wait a minute, unprotected. Are you talking about babies? Unprotected finisher.
Drift away, Elias. There you go.
Okay. No, look, I just want to know about this assignment desk. So Dean demands assignments from you. Dean's got the nameplate in his cube, but it sounds like you share your desk, and Dean does not share his desk. Is that true?
I'm the top dog there. I sit at that desk. It is my desk. And when Dean comes and gives me assignments, he doesn't demand them. He gives them to me, and I decide if I do them or not.
So you don't.
So
have
I hold
to do
the power.
Anything he gives you. Does Dean
No.
he ask you nicely? Does he say pretty please?
No. He says that, and this is reality based television writing. If there's no breaking news tonight, I'd love to get person X to go to place A. If you have a spare. So if I choose to have a spare.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's very interesting. So in other words, you think he's doing the early bird special, maybe his cholesterol's out of whack, or there's an iron deficiency, and so he's actually kind of almost in a drunken state when he's doing these rants, these bird drops, whatever, these elbow drops. He's in a state of delusion because he's iron deficient, and he's probably got a little too much cholesterol from all of the eggs and the early bird special at the TGI Fridays and hanging with the OGs, and maybe they're putting a few back. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's all accurate.
Okay, that could be.
It could be. Now let's get to the bottom of it. His drop of whichever ilk you like to describe it as. He brings up a lot of.
Well, no, I would describe it as bird droppings, not an elbow drop.
He provided some evidence that I could see making sense. Okay, number one, yes, it's not the B+ player routine, even though I agree that is kind of her gimmick. It is. It's the Bailey. It's the Daniel Bryan. It's the Revival. Wow, I didn't think I'd ever put those two things together. It's the Sami Zayn. I mean, there is a place in wrestling for those characters, and I know you know that. But
yeah, absolutely.
But he does make a point. It's not the B+ player thing, and if this is going to be their centric, because fuck the Seth and Brock feud, that isn't going to go anywhere. So if they're going to prioritize a feud for the focus of WrestleMania, no, they're not doing the B+ player thing. I can appreciate that. I just don't think they did a good enough job in telling the story. Again, I'm 50-50. At some points, I like it. You know, when she hit Steph, I thought that was a good moment, right? But the prolonged apathetic response that Triple H gave her like the next night on SmackDown was just overdue. Not overdue, rather. It went too long, and I thought it was kind of boring. He said his point. He should have stopped at his point after he made it, and it's illogical. I need it to make sense. That's all.
Well,
Vince
Dean,
screwed everything up.
okay, but Dean talks about believability.
Mhm.
And fans believe Becky has really been replaced in the main event, and Ronda's lashing out on Vince on Twitter.
That is true
But
too. That all happened.
Okay, but who cares? She sent a tweet to Vince. Who cares? And that doesn't make it believable. And fans believe Becky is really replaced? Yeah. Yeah, if you're a fucking moron, you could possibly think that. I don't know. Now, who would think that? This is a TV show.
Don't
Come on, it's nothing. Yeah, come on. That's like really. That's not believable. There's nothing believable about Dollar Store ripoff Becky Lynch. She's the Stone Cold ripoff. There's nothing believable about that. That's not believable. Do fans believe? Yeah, I mean Charlotte was thrown in there, and some of the Becky Lynch marks are swerved and are angry on the internet, and that's okay. They'll get over it because the story's playing out exactly like it's supposed to. I don't think that makes the whole thing believable. Dean talks about realism, right? I mean, she apologizes. How could you imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin at the height of his Attitude Era feud with Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon tears him a new one, and he apologizes? That's realism.
I don't think he ever did. Wait, hold on. Wasn't there a promo specifically like that back in the Attitude Era? It was when Vince wanted to pull Steve from the main event match or something because like his knee was hurt, and he's like, I can appreciate the fact that you care about my health or some shit, and then he says, I also appreciate the fact you can kiss my ass and stun Vince.
Right. Now, Dean says it's giving us something different. Now, I'm going to have to beg to differ. There is nothing different about McMahon family authority figure versus protagonist. It's the oldest WWE formula in the book. There's nothing new about it. The pieces may change. The interchangeable pieces like Becky Lynch may change, but the basic premise is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Dean has gone to one too many early bird specials. Yeah, that's what I think.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. There's a little while yet to go. Anything from SmackDown that is worth mentioning before we move on to a few other notes and Elimination Chamber predictions?
Yeah, I have to tell you that the Miz and Shane thing just is not doing it for me at all. I don't think they really connect. I don't find them overly entertaining. They had a bad in-ring promo segment with Miz and Shane and the Usos, where one of the Usos says they can bathe together as adults and also watch each other's backs because they're twins.
That's gross.
I don't know like who came up with that compelling line, but then you have the Usos super kick Shane and Miz, but of course the big question in my opinion is going to be, will they be forced to apologize and lose their title shot?
Or will Vince come out and just give two random people the titles?
Yeah. They're going to be my champions now, pal. He may just bring out, I don't know. Who could come out? Sanity? Are they still employed?
Man, they were once a pretty unique tag team.
Yeah. There's like 2 weeks where they were definitely unique.
Yeah. And then that was it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, so that's Raw and SmackDown for the most part. We have breaking news, and then they just accepted, they being World Wrestling Entertainment, just accepted new recruits to the Performance Center. We can get to those after the Elimination Chamber talk. So the Chamber, I liked how we got the announcement of Ronda versus Ruby Riott just 2 nights ago. Thought that was exciting. Think that it would have some build, maybe, or have it like a face-off between the two.
Well, I mean, that would be nice. I mean, who actually thinks that Ronda's going to lose? I don't know. Nobody, literally.
No one.
But, yeah, I mean, but you never know. Like, if Ruby Riott gets good positioning on the top rope and just really nails her with that beak, she may do it. Nothing.
That's mean. You don't
Okay.
care.
Yeah. No.
No, I'm a big Ruby fan. I hope they at least give her some clout. At least give her some offense. That's all I ask for.
Yeah.
She's gonna have Ronda's still, I think, learning. So she'll clearly be carrying the load as far as the in ring, but not many people really notice that. And then the Elimination Chamber match for the new women's tag team titles. It's going to be Sasha and Bailey, is it not?
I think it should be Sasha and Bailey. Will it? I don't know, but hell, after all that they've gone through from a storyline perspective and all the attention they've given them, if they can't make them the champions, then this is just what a waste this entire thing was. So yeah, I really do hope that Sasha and Bailey win the tag team championships. And then they finally turn on each other and have the match we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, Sasha and Bailey for the third or fourth or fifth time. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. The men's Elimination Chamber match, we saw a little switcheroo in the main event of SmackDown. Mustafa Ali taken out because Randy kind of popped his eye out in their match last week.
You get these little flippity floppers in against the heavyweights and take them off 205 Live, and they get hurt. That's what happens.
Randy stiffed them.
No, he didn't.
Did you see the move?
That's not where he got hurt. Come on. Look, that's what happens. We've seen time and time again. You put the smaller guys in with the big guys, and they consistently work with them, and sooner or later, they start getting hurt.
Or you wrestle Seth Rollins and he hurts you.
Yeah. Or you accidentally run into Seth Rollins' knee. That's very true.
Sorry, I love Seth, but that was a little too easy. Who takes it out? I think Bryan is going to reign supreme again.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know, what is really compelling as far as an opponent for Daniel Bryan in WrestleMania. I don't see many of them.
I'm a huge Samoa. I meant to bring that up to you. We'll talk about it a little bit. I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan. I'd love to see Joe and Bryan go at it. Joe's big, good on the mic, charismatic. He can make a crowd turn on him at the drop of a hat, and he can actually work in the ring. I think Vince thinks he's fat, which is a problem.
Well, it's also accurate.
I mean, it's size, so we talk about big guys. Joe...
Look, there's nothing wrong with it per se. Like if Joe were, I would say 2 to 3 inches taller, it would be no big deal.
How tall is Joe?
He's not that tall.
I didn't say if he was. Do you know what his height is?
Look, there's been an endless debate about this. I don't want to get into it. He's somewhere in Joe? He's somewhere in that 5'10" to 6 foot range, max.
Okay. I still want to see Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan.
I think they'd have a great match. I like some of what Joe has done. I thought he should have beat AJ, as we've talked about, last year. So I'm on board. They're both heels. I don't know how that would pan out, but I'd be totally fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. But no, it isn't going to happen. So Daniel's probably going to come out of that alive. What? Honestly, man, I don't even really know the Elimination Chamber card that well. I just don't. Is that bad? They haven't talked about it, except for the women's tag belts. Like what?
Well, it was like, okay, next thing you know, like Elimination Chambers this weekend. There's, like you said, really no real promotion. It's just kind of odd.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. And isn't there Fastlane?
I hope not. I'm just ready to go to WrestleMania.
Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor. Bobby's going to win that.
Yeah, I think Leo Rush is it a handicap match?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, of course, you throw Leo in there. It makes it easier for Finn to win and pin Leo. But, Finn Balor, in all seriousness, he should be squashed in 30 seconds.
SmackDown tag titles, Miz and McMahon versus the Usos. Is this where we see the Miz and Shane go at it against each other, or do you wait until like a little bit before Mania to do that?
It's still kind of early for that, right? I mean, it's still maybe a little too early, but you could do that. And it'd be totally fine, but I don't know. There's still plenty of time.
Yeah, I have the Miz and Shane winning, and then Braun and Baron Corbin are wrestling. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that.
Finally, two guys, two heavyweights, two ass kickers. And they're just going to have a Haas fight. Now, if they book Corbin like a bitch, then it's not going to be entertaining.
For you.
Yeah. You'll probably be,
No, I don't want to watch that match at all. I don't care who's in.
I don't blame you. Braun's boring. What can I say?
I mean, they're both boring to me. I just
Baron
don't.
Corbin is the most over heel on the entire flagship show of WWE TV.
I don't know if he is anymore, pal. I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
He absolutely is.
I think that ship is stale.
Package. He can work. He can talk on the mic. He's got a character. He looks different than everybody else. Are you kidding me?
It's whatever. So that's the Chamber, guys and girls. Have fun, watch it, enjoy it. Order a pizza. Try to pretend any of these matches really matter, except for the women's tag titles. It's just something. So I guess it's more wrestling, right? And that's what we need.
Yeah, there's one thing I'm missing. One thing I'm missing in my life. It's another 6 hours of wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So before we get to Brad's news, so new recruits were officially announced by the website. One of them, a few of them, pretty prominently known in the indie circuit. One of them being ACH, high flyer, not Brad's cup of tea, but
very short.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know how tall ACH is. Have you heard of ACH?
I have. I saw his work in Ring of Honor. Very athletic.
What were your thoughts?
Very athletic. Likable, but also very small.
Yeah, he's about Finn Balor's height, so we'll see what that does for him. I'm a fan. I hope he does okay. We have Bruce Mitchell's favorite wrestler of all time, Trevor Lee. Only 25 years old. Now, I honestly haven't gotten to watch a lot of Trevor Lee. I really don't know anything about him, but what is he? Is he good? He looks grungy, which isn't a bad thing. I don't know his style. I don't know anything about him.
He's good in the ring. He's got a slight build. He's not overly tall. He's obviously very popular in North Carolina, in the Indies here, where he's from. He knows the Hardy Boys and Shane Helms very well, etc. Obviously, Bruce Mitchell is a big fan, enough that he would overlook a few misguided tweets. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he'll be a good fit for NXT. I do.
Any further? Like after NXT?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. The WWE citing these indie guys who they look like they belong at indie shows, not main roster WWE. So, that's a hard one for me to kind of process. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. There's always 205 Live, or if you're big enough, you could go to the main roster, but you end up being a small heavyweight, and it just doesn't look very realistic when you have guys that are Baron Corbin size or Randy Orton size, or everybody looks big until they get on the main roster. It's like Lars Sullivan. Yeah, he's this huge monster. He's 6'3", 280. Put him on the main roster, and he's not even in the top 10 biggest guys.
Yeah,
that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There are a few others. Rachel Ellering, who
Paul Ellering's daughter. Yep.
The
former manager of the all-time greatest tag team, in my opinion, the Road Warriors.
She has a really good look. She's thick, but like she's strong. Not thick as in like Nia Jax, but she's
Well,
she's
is she thick? Like she's THICC thick? Or
that's
is
the
she-
compliment one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the compliment. At least that's what the kids tell me these days. You know.
Yeah. No. Rachel actually holds 20, and this is from the website, 27 state records and 5 national records in powerlifting. Trained with Lance Storm at the Storm Wrestling Academy in Calgary. She also dates Cassius Ohno. Oh no. Not you didn't know. Sorry. Oh, by the way, we didn't get to see the Road Dogg or Jesse James. That's the same guy. Fuck. Who the hell? Jeff Jarrett this week on Raw. I was kind of thrilled.
I know. Maybe that's why the ratings were down. There's no
Maybe.
Jeff Jarrett. There's no Road Dogg. Yeah, it was. I don't know what I would do without another week of Jeff Jarrett coming out and doing the same act he did 20 years ago. It's.
Another Mae Young competitor. Her name is, hold on one second, Karen Yu. She has kind of the same build as Rachel Ellering. We'll see how she does. She was her Karen Yu. Why you?
You who?
You who? The drink. It's very good.
Oh.
One other man, Omari Palmer. Big dude, 6'3", 350. He was part of the Syracuse football team, an offensive lineman for them. Yep. And Ricardo Miller is another athlete. He played football for the University of Michigan, wide receiver, standing 6'3", 220 pounds. Pretty big dude.
Yeah.
Sam Shaw. I know that name.
That's Sam Shaw from TNA/Impact Wrestling.
That's right.
Boy, was he a good character.
Really?
That's a guy who knows how to play a character well. So he'll be one to watch for.
Really? You're not kidding around?
No, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm excited to see it. And then I'm just trying to look at a few of the guys further down the list here. Anyone notable? Nick Komoroto. He's an indie wrestler in the Northeast. Trained with Matt Riddle, Punishment Martinez. You know what? You would love Punishment Martinez.
I'm familiar with Punishment Martinez.
I hate his name.
but he's kind of like a discount Baron Corbin.
He's way better than Baron Corbin.
No, absolutely not.
No, he's way... Yes, he is.
Not even close.
No, we'll argue about this later. And last but not least, it looks like they have another Samoan, 275-pound. He honestly looks like he could be in the show Vikings. His name, and it's escaping me. See there? Oh, Jonah Rock. How about that? I don't know if he's related to The Rock. It's not Dwayne's true last name.
Really? Tell me more. Wow, that's incredible. I've been lied to my whole life.
Yep. CM Punk told us what The Rock's real name is.
Everything I know is a lie. God damn it.
I know. Well, about Sam Shaw, I'm very interested to see how that turns out. What kind of character? I'm going to pull up your breaking news music here. What kind of character did he play?
Sam Shaw?
Yeah.
He was a stalker of Christy Hemmings. Very creepy. And he played it very well.
Interesting.
Yeah, you should check out those vignettes. Maybe you can find them online. But he certainly did a very good creepy stalker guy.
That's awesome.
I guess Barry Windham should have been paying attention to Samuel Shaw. You have no idea what that means.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
Okay,
should I?
I don't know. Play my music. Let's get this going.
Okay.
I'm back with breaking news exclusively on the Oh You Didn't Know Wrestling show make sure to credit us exclusively, as I fire up breaking news for you. So, WWE is going to take one more swing at re-signing Dean Ambrose.
Huh?
And apparently they're going to offer him a really sweet deal, which may include limited dates. They do not want him to leave.
I have a counter to that. Not a story, but I have a counter opinion. He was recently on Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins' podcast. They talk about like toys, action figures, and recently said that there are some guys in the locker room that are only literally there for the money. And he said that he is not there for the money, and it has been shown by the reports that you've made that money is not a reality to him.
Right.
So, based on this report, why this isn't going to do anything, right? Because he loves it's the only thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, unless that really sweet deal includes some sort of a creative freedom or some additional changes to his character, I would agree based on the history. Now, I know they don't want him to leave, but it's kind of curious because could Dean Ambrose be the next CM Punk? Could he be that anti-hero that is actually not, going to stay, but actually going to leave the company, like as they portrayed with CM Punk? Is he going to leave and go on to be a big anti-hero in the wrestling community? I don't know. But there's something there with Dean, and even with as the fans know he is leaving, they haven't turned on him. It's kind of made him more popular. Like even when you see his appearances on Raw, it's just kind of interesting. So I don't know. They would be very wise to re-sign him and do what he wants within reason. Because I got to tell you, I can't see any reason why All Elite Wrestling would not do anything they can to sign Dean Ambrose. They would be foolish not to.
They'd be. I mean, dare I say, stupid? Literally.
Yeah.
He would be there. Chris Jericho is a star. Kenny Omega is a star in the international realm, but Dean's a star all over the place, bigger than both of them at this stage right now. Yeah, they'd have to. They'd be their own. They'd be the one true step in the positive direction outside of a television deal. Yeah.
Well, and you think about it, John, and Chris Jericho, he's kind of like a recruiter, right? He has so many connections in the wrestling business that what better way to recruit talent around the world, especially in WWE, than Chris Jericho? Use him as the vehicle to do that. I mean, Chris Jericho has a friendly relationship with Dean Ambrose. They had a program together, which Chris Jericho liked.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's your connection to getting into All Elite Wrestling right there. I mean, yeah, this situation is very intriguing to me to see if WWE is going to be able to change course, even though he seems determined to leave, and even though, again, this is not a work whatsoever. And so it's going to be very interesting to watch.
I do know that as soon as they start to bring him into a storyline talking about his release, he re-signed his contract. I think that's fair to say. Because why wouldn't they do that now?
Yeah, I mean, you're likely right. Yeah.
But we'll see.
So, lots of AAF talk at
Oh, really?
Football.
Yeah.
So the word at the office is that they felt the opening weekend was a success and that the XFL has their work cut out for them, which was pretty interesting. So I don't know if you saw, John, obviously you're a football fan like me. Did you see any of the AAF games?
I did. I thought they were the one game I was able to watch. What was the nationally televised game on Saturday night?
There was depending on where you live, there was the Orlando Apollos game.
That's the one.
The Atlanta Legends.
That's the one that I watched.
Yes, me too.
I thought it was fun. I love the rules so far. I love that how they go to the replay official based on review, and then I really enjoyed not having to withstand a penalty every 3 minutes like clockwork. And the fact that there's no commercials directly after a punt.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And the commercials are kept to like 30-second spots. I mean, I thought it made a big difference in the pace of the game and in keeping
Took
the
2.5
interest in the
hours.
game. Absolutely.
Yeah. It was awesome. Okay, not awesome. The game could have been much better, but
football market really like when you gauge it? How much football are we willing to take? It's like it's like in wrestling, the niche market. How many wrestling companies can you really have all sharing the same small pie? But
yeah,
obviously football is a lot more popular. But what's the true market for having more and more and more football in America? And I think it's proving so far that there is other opportunities to have other football outside of the NFL at a pro or semi-pro level. And I think the AAF has got a really good deal with the NFL for what they want to do as a developmental league. I'm actually covering them. I did cover the Orlando game for ProSportsExtra.com, where I am a journalist, writer, blogger, personality, whatever you want to call me. So check that out. But yeah, I thought it was a success, and it's very interesting because you've got the was there enough room in the marketplace? Well, I think there is, right? I mean, the ratings are good. They have to be consistent, but I think based on that, it's true that there is room in the marketplace. But then you have to look at, the XFL going into the NFL markets, and is that going to be a problem? You look at AAF, they didn't necessarily have a lot of those. I mean, the one team they did have, the Arizona Hotshots, who played on Sunday. And they were a good team, but they had, they played in a place that was, I don't know, 10 miles from where the Arizona Cardinals play.
Yep.
Glendale. And their attendance was so bad that they wouldn't announce it. That was the only team's attendance they didn't announce that weekend. And it was really, really bad. So can the XFL go into an NFL market in the offseason into these big arenas like MetLife Stadium and get anywhere close to 20,000 people, in a stadium that's going to hold 70 or 80. I don't know. I mean, I think it wasn't a wise decision, but, I think those are some of the things we're looking at already. And the XFL is a year behind, and, they've got to pick up the momentum. But yeah, AAF, I thought off to a good start. It was really fun football. They were allowed to hit each other, and a lot of people want to see that. Even if you talk about player safety, a lot of people want to see the big hits. And I thought it was really fun. It sure was.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth for a change.
Okay, so there was a report that came out that said R-Truth had heat with Nia Jax over the Rumble where he was hurt. And then Nia Jax was trolling, I guess, wrestling journalists and posted an Instagram picture with R-Truth. And so I was told Nia Jax did accidentally hurt R-Truth, nothing serious, but there's no heat between the two of them.
Which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. And finally, Kurt Angle is definitely on his way out. WrestleMania 35 may in fact be his last Mania, his last hurrah.
Okay.
And, it's too bad because, and we've talked about this before, John, he wasted a lot of his prime years in TNA, quite frankly. You could say, maybe some considered it was tarnishing his legacy or wasting time, whatever have you. But certainly in reflection, it just sucks, right? Because he could have been doing so many greater things in WWE in some people's opinion. Well, now Kurt Angle can barely move. I'm told he moves like Mick Foley backstage. Standing still, he looks pretty good. You can see that in the ring. But when you watch him, I'm told getting in and out of his car, it's quote unquote unfortunate. So Kurt Angle is not in good physical shape at all and is on his way out of the company.
Yeah, there are a few people that I know that actually go to the same gym as Kurt in Pittsburgh, and they say he looks like crap.
Yep.
Nice as can be, gentleman, but just a damn shame.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the all-time greats, a true American icon, the gold medal, the whole deal. But just really unfortunate to see a real American icon get his Father Time. Nobody beats Father Time. And
So, any word on what the match is going to be? Is it going to be the tag?
I have no idea. That I don't know.
Okay.
I just hope they do something that is sends him off in a good way, but he's just in such rough shape that I don't know what they could do from a match standpoint. It's going to have to be someone who could carry a match,
Undertaker,
and work around his weaknesses.
Undertaker.
Hey, Undertaker's charging $25,000 for appearances.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I guess his wallet isn't dead.
Yeah, him and his wife are living large down in Texas. I guess he's strapped for cash.
Strapped for cash and strapping guns on his hip. Yeehaw!
Yeah, yippee ki yay! Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, everyone, enjoy the Elimination Chamber. I'm gonna be. Well, I don't honestly. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I don't know how they're gonna make 4 hours happen, but I'll watch it. We'll see. We'll see. Where can? Yeah, me neither. I really don't. Where can we find you on Twitter?
At the Brad Shepard on Twitter. SHEPARD. Follow me for all of my takes. Hey, some days you're going to get pro wrestling. Some days you're going to get sports. Some days you're going to get lyrics to Black Velvet. You never know what you're going to run into on my Twitter account, but I'm always going to keep it real with you. Follow my work on prosportsextra.com as well.
And I'm John Fisher TV on Twitter. That's about it. Is there anything else to say before we head off for another week?
There's really nothing to say. Yeah, rate, subscribe, spread the word. We appreciate your feedback on what you like and what you don't. In many cases, it's me that you like. I understand that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I've also been posting selfies, some muscle pics here for Dave Meltzer and his friends on the board. So, stay tuned for that hot item as well.
All right. We'll see you all next week. Wear a shirt.